Good morning, students. Beta, today we will be discussing the last topic of chapter staffing, that is training and development. Let us see what is training. Training is basically an act of increasing the knowledge and skills of an employee for doing a particular job efficiently and effectively. It is a planned effort by a company to facilitate employees learning of job related competences. Now, what are the competences? Competences include knowledge, skills, or behavior which is critical for successful performance of the job. So, the purpose of training is for the employees to master those competences and apply them to their day to day activities. The term training is generally used for non-managerial employees, generally for the workers. It is a very short-term process. Development, on the other hand, it shapes the attitude of employees towards higher job positions. It seeks to prepare the employees to handle more responsible and challenging jobs and develop their hidden talents. Okay, main focus is on attitude development so that we can prepare the employees for higher job position. So it prepare the employee for future responsibilities while increasing the capacity to perform at current job. At the current job only we are increasing the capacity to handle the future responsibilities. This term development is generally used for managerial employees. Main focus of development is their growth in all respects. In training, our main focus is on increasing the specific skills to do a particular job, while the main focus in development is their overall growth and development. Fine. Now, do organizations need training and development? Answer should be yes, because it brings about a change in the attitude of workers towards fellow workers, towards supervisors, towards organization, along with work also. Okay, it improves overall performance of the organizations. It prepares the employees for higher jobs by developing advanced skills in them. So training is important not only for the organization but also for the employees. Let us discuss the benefits of training to organization and its employees. As you know, due to fast, rapidly changing environment, we want that we have a knowledgeable and talented workforce who can easily adjust with the changes in environment. We can create such type of workforce only by giving necessary training and development to our employees. Now let's see what benefits training and development offers. The very first benefit of training to the organization is systematic learning. But it teaches the workers to make the most efficient use of resources. It is always better than hit and trial method, okay, which results in lot of wastage of resources. We teach them best way. Generally, simulated environment is created to train the employees and they easily adjust themselves later on at actual workplace. Okay, the trained employees, they need less supervision. I never said no supervision. I said they need less supervision. There's always a difference between trained and untrained employee. Untrained employee needs supervision at all point of time, while a trained person needs it at some points of time and later on he can be left alone to handle the job on his own. Of course, occasional guidance may be given to the employees. So it helps in providing systematic learning to the employees. The next benefit to organization is higher profits. How higher profits? A well-trained employee is definitely going to put the best of his efforts. He will make optimum utilization of resources. As a result, efficiency will increase and thereby profits of organization that will also increase. Okay. The next benefit is it equips future managers. As you know, that environment is dynamic. New technological advancements keep on bringing new ways to do the task. Organization wants that its employees they are capable to handle challenging jobs in future for higher positions. So training helps the employees to keep abreast with these latest changes and handle future challenges. Now the next benefit is it reduces absenteeism and employee turnover. When employees are satisfied, okay, when they are satisfied, when they will be satisfied, when they know that they are being updated, they are being made abreast with the latest advancements, so they become more effective, their efficiency level also increases, their keenness to give their best to the organization will increase, their loyalty increase, they will not remain absent, it will reduce absenteeism, their turnover will also come down because they know that organization is spending so much money on training them. They want to stick to the organization. Their job satisfaction level also increases when they are optimally trained with the latest advancements. Next benefit is effective response to environmental changes. Adequately trained persons, they are more confident and more capable to adapt to the changing environment. They don't hesitate with the changes in environment. They respond positively to the latest advancements or changes. Okay, beta. Now let's see what benefits does training offer to the employees. The first benefit is better career. It helps the employee to keep abreast of latest changes. As you know, company organizes training programs from time to time with latest advancements. Advanced skills are developed in them. If employees are updated with these advanced skills, they are in a better position to have more or better career options in future. Fine. A trained worker carries the skills which act as his personal assets because they remain with him permanently forever. So he has better career options in future. Next benefit is increased earnings. Employees get more. It helps to improve the performance of employees as well as productivity of employees, which helps them to earn more in the form of remuneration or other monetary benefits. Next, it helps in more, it makes the workers more efficient to handle machines. Fine. Employees can handle materials, machines and equipments efficiently. Hit and trial method is eliminated. So chances of wastage of time and resources, they are also reduced. It reduces the number of accidents as well because we provide them safety training. Trained employees, they know the do's and don'ts and they can handle machines in a better manner than the untrained employees. It also helps in increasing the morale of the employees. It increases their morale, it boosts their morale. Trained employees have greater job satisfaction and they know their job well and can handle all the technical issues. It helps to boost their morale. Fine. So these are the various benefits of training to the organization as well as to the employees. Although training involves money, although it is expensive, but without training it is going to be more expensive for the organization. Okay, because training offers many benefits. Now we can differentiate between training and development on certain basis. We have discussed both the terms training and development. Now let's differentiate between the two. First basis is concept. Training is the process of increasing knowledge and skills. Fine. Knowledge and skill on a particular job. While development is a process of learning and growth. The purpose of training is to enable the employees to do the present job in a better manner. While the purpose of development is their overall growth. It aims for the overall growth of the employees. Training is basically job-oriented process while development is a career-oriented process. Training is suitable for technical staff while development word is generally used for managerial staff. Fine. Duration. Training is a short-term process. On the other hand, development is a long-term process. level of training is involved. Next basis. It is mostly used for non-managerial personnel, while development is used for managerial personnel. Okay? The last basis is initiative in learning. Who takes initiative in learning in training? Initiative is taken by the employer in case of training, while in development the initiative is taken by the individual himself. Okay? Now let us do the methods of training. Beta, there are two broad categories: on the job training methods and off the job training methods. In on the job training methods, training is provided at the actual workplace. Okay, principle of learning while doing is adopted. Means employee is working in the organization as well as he is being trained at the same time. He never goes away or outside the organization. On the job training methods, they are more suitable for technical jobs. For example, apprenticeship training, induction training, and internship training. We will discuss these methods of training later. But on the job training methods, they are less expensive and consume less time. Okay, workers learn the job in actual conditions rather than in the artificial conditions. Further, training is under the supervision of supervisors who take keen interest in their training program. Fine. Now, on the other hand, another category is off the job methods, off the job training methods. Here, training is provided to the employee away from the job. That is, he moves away from the job. He do not get training in the organization where he is going to actually work. He sent away from the actual workplace. Principle of learning before doing is adopted. Means first they get training on particular skills. After getting trained, they move to the actual workplace. Okay, before doing the actual job, they will get training on that. It is more suitable for managerial jobs. For example, vestibule training. Now let us discuss these methods one by one. The first one is apprenticeship training. Under this method, trainee works under the guidance of a master worker who guides them and helps them in learning the job. Okay, these are designed to acquire higher level of skills. This method is more common in skilled trades like plumbers, electricians, carpenters, etc. Further, a uniform period of training is offered to the trainees. Generally, it is a long period. It may range from 2 to 4 years. Trainees spend a prescribed amount of time with experienced guide or trainer and are paid nominal remuneration as well in the form of stipend. Okay, here trainee, but how this apprenticeship training works? Actually, the trainees observe master trainers. They observe him how he is doing work. They learn skills from him. Gradually, master trainer and trainee starts interchanging positions. That is, trainee starts working and master trainer starts guiding him. Eventually, near the end of training, eventually the trainer exits the scene and trainee is given a full-fledged charge of the job, and he starts getting salary of a full-fledged skilled worker. When he was under a period of training, he was being a nominal amount in the form of a stipend. But when the training period is over, he becomes a full-fledged worker. He gets absorbed in that organization only after the training period is over, and he starts getting the salary or wages of a regular worker. Okay, although training period is long and training requires regular supervision, but trainee they gets valuable skills which carry demand in the market. The next method of training is internship training. It is a joint program of training between the educational institutes and the business firms, wherein students of educational institutes they are sent to business firms to gain practical experience. Selected candidates they carry on regular studies for the prescribed period, and they also work in some organizations to gain some practical knowledge and skills. Okay, for example, engineering students, they are sent to business enterprises in their final year. Similarly, medical students, they go to hospitals to get practical knowledge. Okay, students of educational institutes, they are sent for internship training in the final year of study. Whatever they have learned theoretically in classrooms, they do it practically in organizations. It is beneficial for both trainees as well as the organization. How it is beneficial for trainees? Because they get more exposure and put their theoretical knowledge in practical or real life situations, while organization also stands benefited, as the new trainees, they do work with much energy and enthusiasm, and organization has to pay nominal amount to them in the form of a stipend. Okay, so internship training is a combination of theoretical knowledge as well as practical knowledge. Fine. Next method of training is induction training. It is a type of training which is given to help a new employee in settling down quickly into the job by becoming familiar with the people, the surroundings, the job and the business. Basically, it is orientation only, beta. We have done in the staffing process placement and orientation. It is only orientation. It helps new employee to get adjusted in the new environment and the people with whom he is going to work. It will help to increase their efficiency. Fine. We may take the new employee we can take him and we can take him to a tour to the organization. We can show him different departments. We can show him where is the canteen. We can tell him about the rules, policies, culture of the organization. A brief introduction is given about the organization and the fellow beings with whom he is going to work. Main purpose is that he settles down easily in the new environment. Okay. Now, the last method of training, that is vestibule training. It is a off-the-job method of training in which employees learn their jobs on the equipments they will be using. But the training is conducted not at the workplace, rather away from the actual workplace. Now, why the word vestibule is used, beta? Vestibule means a passage. It means a passage between the outer door and the interior of a building. Passage between the outer main door and the interior of the building. In order to reach the interior or inner of a building, one must pass from that passage. One must go through that passage or vestibule so that he can enter the building. Okay. Under vestibule training, workers are trained on special machines in a separate location, maybe classrooms. Training is given in artificial conditions which are just like real conditions. The theoretical training is given in the classroom. Supervisor who trains them, he is totally relieved and he spends his entire time on training the employees. Dummy equipments are created, duplicate models are prepared. Okay, trainees learn on those duplicate models or dummy models. When they get enough training, when they are expert enough to handle those models or machines, dummy models, they are sent to the actual workplace. Okay, this method is used only when beta machines and equipments, when they are very costly, when they are very sophisticated, they are very delicate. They can then we first prefer that our trainees get training on the dummy models so that they can handle them properly when they actually come to the work. Okay, this is the last method of training. We have done the methods of training and the importance of training and development. With this, our topic concludes.